Time for tonight's rewrite. Remember this guy?
I won't place one more dollar of debt upon the backs of my kids and grandkids unless we structurally reform the way this town spends money.
I won't place one more dollar of debt on the backs of my kids. That's Tea Party Congressman Joe Walsh. He's been on this show a few times, but I banned him when I realized he is $117,437 behind in his child support payments to his first wife, Laura Walsh, for the support of their 3 children. There is now a withholding order on the congressman's salary to cover his current child support obligations. $2,134 a month is taken out of his $174,000 congressional salary to cover his current obligations. Now, one of my rules about guests, in fact, it may be my only rule, is that I don't allow anyone to come on this show unless and until they pay their child support obligations in full. The judge in the Walsh child support case in Cook County, Illinois, was not amused yesterday when Walsh didn't show up for a hearing in the case. When his lawyer explained his absence by saying, "Mr. Walsh is a U.S. congressman," the judge replied, "Well, he's no different than anyone else." Congressman Walsh's spokesman tried to pretend to us today that the congressman just had to be in Washington yesterday for all the important work of a freshman congressman who is not taken seriously by anyone on Capitol Hill. The congressman's only official act yesterday was to vote, and he was called upon to do that only once. The Republican bill passed the House 232 to 186. Everyone knew ahead of time that Congressman Walsh's vote wasn't going to matter. The margin was just going to be too great for any individual vote to matter. That's exactly the kind of vote a member of Congress can and does miss if he or she has something more important to do, like, maybe pay child support, which every member of Congress should agree is more important than voting on a bill, and in fact is more important than being a congressman. In fact, 11 members of the House, including Michelle Bachmann, missed that vote yesterday because they, not unreasonably, decided they had something more important to do. Congressmen cast hundreds of votes, thousands of votes, most of which are not important and have big margins in them. It doesn't matter whether they voted or not. And they use their judgment about which votes they can miss. Congressman Walsh could have easily missed that vote. The deadbeat dad congressman continues to get invited on other shows where he freely discusses anything but child support. No show on any network, including this network, should ever allow Congressman Walsh to do any more of his phony posing.
I won't place one more dollar of debt upon the backs of my kids.
No more of his lying about his concern for the financial burdens that his kids face. Joe Walsh actually tries to use his TV appearances as additional excuses for why he can't show up for his child support hearings. His spokesman told us today that one of the reasons he couldn't be in an Illinois courtroom yesterday is that he had media appearances to do in Washington. Any network that lets Joe Walsh come on any show, that lets Joe Walsh come on, any host of any television show who interviews Joe Walsh runs the risk of being used as a reason why Joe Walsh can't go to court and answer a judge's questions about his child support debt. Joe Walsh is a disgrace to the United States House of Representatives. He is a disgrace to the Republican Party that claims pride in its shared family values. And no news network, no television interviewer should enable his lie that his fulminating in Congress or on TV is more important than paying his child support. Oh, and you know that vote that he cast yesterday? The one where his vote didn't matter because the winning margin was so big? The vote that he pretended was so important that he couldn't be at his child support hearing? Joe Walsh made sure his vote didn't matter because he didn't even vote yes or no. Joe Walsh voted present. So much for his excuse for not being present at his child support hearing yesterday and not being present as a good and decent and honorable provider for his children.